You working on the splits? You ever been able to get splits? I want to get back to. I'm actually close, but doing the Van Dam though, putting one leg on a box, the other leg on a box.
I think that's the lowest I can get right now.
You're close.
Jesus.
With a little bit of work, we could do that. A little bit of work, we could do it. Yeah. So this is our semi-private ladies crew. This is one of two. So they do two pretty hard strength programs per week because most of them do 2 strength sessions and then like 2 conditioning sessions. Sometimes a 3rd small group strength session. But that's why like this one also has quite a bit more volume, but it's worked for them. They've been training for years. The results have been excellent. We're starting with, a lot of times we'll actually start with single leg work. For stability, you can see they're doing double kettlebell side lunges, and then they're contrasting it with a lateral jump, right? So basically, where a lot of times people will start with a big lift, like like a squat or deadlift or something like that. Nothing wrong with that, we do that too. But a lot of times I love starting with single leg work for stability and then doing a big lift afterwards. And working on every kind of like, not just sagittal play, but also frontal play, right? Side lunges, transverse, like, because we tend to train, and these ladies like to not only have the kind of the show and the body transformation part, but the go, which is the performance side of things, getting stronger, jumping more, running faster, still kind of having those athletic abilities. And so that's why we're training like this. And as you guys, I take you through the program, always remember, it's individualized. Like I said, these ladies have been training for years, kind of progressively building up. They can, they're all deadlifting, trap bar deadlifting over 300 pounds, even at just, 120 pounds of body weight. But it's like very gradual, and every program builds on itself. So as we go through this, always keep in mind that different programs for different people. I was just training DJ Dallas at the Seattle Seahawks, and different program for what he's working on. Right, you guys may have seen me training the Bellevue kids, different program for what they're working on. So there's always, every single exercise you should be able to answer it with why, right? Like if you're doing a program, you should always be able to answer, why is this exercise here? Why are the reps the way that they are? Why is this in a warm-up, right? You always have to have a why for the things that are in your program. So it's not just like, oh, I saw it on YouTube, or somebody said it, this is good. Like, you always have to adjust it to the individual, right? So that's an important factor here. Push. All right, so the second part is a Bulgarian split squat with the open trap bar. So basically our main big lift is a single leg lift. And there's parts of reason to it, because like we've done about 3 phases where they've done trap bar deadlifts, squats, so like big lifts, bilateral lifts, taking a bit of a break on, obviously they're loading the hell out of the legs, but a little bit of a break on the low back as far as loading goes. So I try to always rotate that, where we'll go from bilateral to unilateral lifts as the main lifts. This has worked phenomenally well. We'll still progress this and load the hell out of it. Like, they have 4 sets of 6 on that, and then a superset with a dumbbell bench. So we usually do, superset hinge with a press, but this is about a 70-30 lower upper program. Why? Because the ladies want more legs and less upper body. Obviously, we still progress upper body and get stronger in those. But since we have 2 sessions a week, we definitely, sessions like this, we're definitely about 60-40, 70-30 of lower body exercises to upper body exercises. And again, the reason is the result that we want to achieve, the goal, the preference, right? So there's all these factors that factor in a program design. But that's why it is this way, just so you know when you're looking at the program. Drive. Oh, you got an 8, come on, come on. Let's go. All right, so once you look at it on the board, like I said, this is one of 2 sessions of strength sessions, but we got dynamic warm-ups here for 10 minutes. You guys didn't see that. Primers, so remember, primers are things like, in the scenario of a lower body workout, will be calf raises, so we get a little bit more extra mobility, and then the ankles, things like sliders, valve sliders, or sore neck sliders to get pump blood flow into the hamstrings. Single leg, like for instance, airplanes to get some stability. So it will just prime us to feel like the joints feel better, like kind of lubricate the joints. Those two go together. Ladies will come in and do that themselves. Then from there you guys saw that double kettlebell side lunge. We saw the lateral jumps. You didn't see a pull-up variation, right? So we got a pull in there. From there, Bulgarian split squats for 4 sets of 6. So we previously had 3 sets. We're bumping up the volume. And then dumbbell bench press, 4 sets of 6. So that's our push. And then you saw that last circuit. We had a glute drive, 3 sets of 12, band abductions, 3 sets of 30, right, each and one. And then a half kneeling chops. And you can see that last set on those glute drives was a drop set. Again, like everything is progressed. These are usually 4-week programs. Sometimes we'll push them to 6. If they're doing well and progressing really well, we'll push them to 6. But always also remember too, it's 3 different people with different lifestyles. There's some, even on here on the Bulgarian split squats, you saw, like for instance, Dez's range of motion was a little bit less, but it was more than we had before because she'd had some hip work done to be able to, she had some hip stuff going on. We got it better now. She's got at least 2 more inches, maybe even 3 more inches on that range of motion. So comparing it to, somebody else, you gotta have some context, right? Because it's really easy to go like, oh, look at that person, they're not doing this, that, or the other, not knowing where they're coming from, that they had issues with their hips, their low back. Now they're doing way better, they're out of back pain. I see this a lot of times where, you see one video on social media and you go and you make a comment, not really knowing what this client's been through, what they've done, what's the reason that they're doing the thing that they're doing, the way that they're doing it. I think that's sometimes important and why I like to do the behind the scenes of programming as well, because if you went through the gym, like even on a day like today, the amount of different people that are coming in, the programs that we're doing is so different. There's templates and there's principles, but there's so many different people reaching different goals that have different training histories, injury histories, preferences, preference schedules of training because of life, and obviously different lives outside that create a whole different input to create different programs. So, but once again, once you see these ladies putting in work, they've been doing it for years, really dedicating themselves to, changing, but you're just seeing some snippets of the behind the scenes of that. So hopefully you love this stuff and I'll show you more in the blogs coming up. So peace out.